Okay, concerned mom here, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about how to win in this country with David Jose Affidavits. This is about learning your rights and standing in your grace and standing in the Constitution and winning against these unconstitutional mandates. So, religious exemptions. I think there's a lot of misrepresentation or misunderstanding about how to win a religious exemption. Basically, you're guaranteed in the Constitution your freedom of religion. And when you send in a religious exemption, it should only be a couple sentences long. It should be based on the Constitution, and you have absolutely no obligation to tell them what your religion is or the tenets thereof, or have any religious leader sign off on it, or say that they have to give you the rights. You own your body, your bodily sovereignty. You have your religious beliefs, and you do not have to share them with the government in any way. So it should be a couple sentences long, and I think that there's a lot of people out there that are advertising for 8 pages or or to have an attorney or to have your religious leader sign off on it. You don't need any of that. You need a couple sentences long, and there's a reason I'm starting with this before I get into the affidavits. You need a couple sentences long in accordance with whatever your state law that allows for religious exemptions and immunization requirements. I certify that receiving vaccines, other immunizing agents conflict with our religion. I therefore am asserting my constitutional right of freedom of religion, stated in the Bill of Rights, First Amendment, that I, or my child, is exempt from immunization requirements and will accept no segregation, no discrimination, or civil rights violations because of our religion. It's that simple. It's a couple sentences. Now, if they ask you questions, what are your tenets? You have no obligation to tell them. They have to approve you based on the Constitution. What you're doing is you explain your tenets. If you give them information about your religion, if you try to, discuss it, you're giving them ammunition. Ammunition they're going to use to say, this is not a religion, this is philosophical. Your religious leader is incorrect. Our religious leader, it trumps them, and they should be following our religious leader. You're just opening up debate. You're opening up an argument. You're giving them ammunition to fight you with. And you don't need that, because it's not about your tenets or what you believe. It's about the Constitution. Stick to the Constitution. That is what will save you. We have our rights in the Constitution. There's a reason it was written the way it is, and it's the reason that it's in the First Amendment. So stick to that. We have a mom in Georgia who sent her children to, she sent her son to a college, Howard College in Georgia. So she wrote her religious exemption. We gave her those couple sentences to send it. And all they kept doing was ignoring that, saying that she had not filled out everything properly and that they needed a statement from her son. They need an explanation of his beliefs. They need tenets. They need all of this further information. They need a statement from whatever religious leader. Like, they want all of this stuff before they even consider her a religious exemption. So what I said was, okay, just keep putting that religious exemption right back in that spot where they keep asking for explanation. This is the only explanation they need. And let's send them the affidavits. And we sent the college a David Jose affidavit. Now, this mom sent in this affidavit, which actually is putting them on notice personally that no legislator, no governor can make an unconstitutional law. So all of these mandates, none of them are lawful because they go against the Constitution. They're not a law. And so this affidavit puts them on notice that, listen, I'm holding you personally responsible for this segregation, for this discrimination. If you don't approve my RE, if you try to put my child in a different building, if you try to make them not go to class, if you try to, give them unlawful testing, if you try to put a mask on them, if you try to do whatever you think these mandates are, I'm holding you personally responsible. I'm going to sue you in your personal capacity because the governor was not allowed to make that law. The legislators were not allowed to make that law. They're against the Constitution, and you personally are violating my constitutional rights. And that's the affidavit. And they have 10 days to respond. And they do have to seek legal counsel if they want to respond, but there is no response because we're asking you to state the authority with which you are allowed to segregate and discriminate and force medical procedures and force medical products such as masks or anything else, testing, anything that's a violation of our bodily sovereignty, anything that is a violation of your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which, by the way, is in your state constitution. So we sent a David Jose affidavit, and of course, no response. We sent them over and over and over again, and they still were sending the same questionnaire. But you didn't answer what we wanted you to answer. Well, we're not going to answer that because you don't deserve that answer, because you don't have the authority to ask me those questions. And here's your affidavit again. And so this mom sent this affidavit in over and over again. She got 9 other moms to send this affidavit in. And guess what? Her son and these other kids, no discrimination. The RE was accepted, and they're not discriminated or segregated. They're not holding them to the mask mandate. They're not changing anything about their college life and segregating them to certain buildings or certain classes they can't take, or all these threats that this college was going to do as far as what we're going to do to you if you claim an RE and you're not going to be part of like the rest of the student body, and you're going to suffer all these consequences. Well, this young man and the 9 other moms are fine. They're not experiencing any of those things. And so it's a win. It's a win for these affidavits. This mom, Chantel, is a fighter and a warrior. And she fought for her son, and she wasn't about to give up, and she did it the right way. Now, this isn't a loud win. This isn't like fireworks going off where, oh my gosh, victory. But it is a victory, and it's a silent victory because they don't want you to know your rights, and they don't want you to know what's going on. So they just never responded and never bothered these children. That's a win. When you can send your son to college and no one gets out and says, listen, you're not vaccinated. You need to be quarantined. You need to be segregated. You need, all these different rules are going to apply to you. That's not happening to these 9 children or 10 children. That's how we win. David Jose affidavits are on fire. And it just takes a strong person to stand up for their rights, to know their rights and learn it. And David Jose has provided these educational opportunities to teach us how we can stand up, how just a bunch of mothers can stand up and win. And we won this one, and we will win more. And I truly believe that this is the way to save the country. These PMAs and affidavits by David Jose. Because we wouldn't know any of this if it wasn't for him. And so all grace and glory goes to the blessing that we were able to bring him into our lives. And then I'm able to share, and other moms are able to share this information. So thank you, David. And thank you, Chantel, for standing up for your son. And thank you to all the moms that are using these affidavits and going forward like warriors and fighting for their children and teaching their children how to stand up. This works, and it works well. So use these affidavits and save the country.